Have you ever made a quiet promise to yourself at night? You lie in bed, the room is dark, and your mind is full of plans. Tomorrow, I will wake up earlier. Tomorrow, I will go for a run. Tomorrow, I will stop wasting time. Tomorrow, I will finally become serious about my life. In that moment, you feel hopeful. You feel determined. But then morning comes, the alarm rings, you press snooze. You tell yourself, just 5 more minutes. 5 minutes become 30. The day begins in a rush. And by the time night returns, you feel slightly disappointed. Not because you don't care, but because you do. If this feels familiar, listen carefully. You are not lazy. You are not broken. You are not incapable. You are simply caught between intention and action. There is a gap between who you want to be and what you consistently do. And that gap is not closed by motivation, it is closed by discipline. Many people think discipline is harsh. They imagine strict rules, cold mornings, forcing themselves to suffer. But real discipline is not self-punishment, it is self-respect. It is the decision to act in alignment with your future self. Think of discipline as a bridge. On one side of the bridge is the current you, tired, distracted, full of potential. On the other side is a stronger version of you, focused, calm, reliable. Every small disciplined action is one step across that bridge, not a giant leap, just one step. And today, we are not talking about becoming perfect. We are talking about becoming consistent, because discipline is not about controlling your life. It is about building a life you no longer need to escape from. Most people misunderstand discipline. When they hear the word, they picture struggle, cold mornings, alarm clocks ringing before sunrise, forcing themselves out of a warm bed, dragging their body to do something they dislike. They think discipline means living a life of constant resistance. But real discipline is not about pain. It is about identity. It is about the quiet decision you make about who you are. Every action you repeat is like casting a vote, not for what you want today, but for who you are becoming tomorrow. When you choose to run, even for 10 minutes, you are not just exercising. You are voting to become a runner. When you sit down and read, even one page, you are not just reading. You are becoming a reader. This shift is powerful because goals are temporary. Identity is lasting. Motivation, on the other hand, is emotional. It rises. It falls. It depends on sleep, weather, mood, stress. Some days you feel unstoppable. Some days you feel tired and uninspired. If your life depends on motivation, your progress will always be unstable. But discipline is structural. It is built into your environment, your schedule, your habits. Motivation asks, do I feel like it today? Discipline says, this is who I am. And something remarkable happens when you decide in advance what kind of person you are. You stop arguing with yourself. No more lying in bed debating whether to wake up. No more standing in front of your desk wondering whether to start. The decision has already been made. There is no daily negotiation, no emotional courtroom inside your mind. You simply act, and in that simplicity, there is peace. Because discipline is not about forcing yourself. It is about freeing yourself from constant inner conflict. Many people fail not because they lack ambition, but because they aim too far, too fast. They wake up one morning filled with determination. This is it, they say. From today on, I will exercise 1 hour every day. I will wake up at 5. I will completely change my life. The intention feels powerful, almost heroic. But there is one problem. Yesterday, they did nothing. Last week, they did nothing. For 3 years, they have not exercised at all. So what happens? Day 1 feels exciting. Day 2 feels heavy. Day 3 feels exhausting. By day 4, the plan disappears. Not because they lack potential, but because the jump was too large. Discipline does not grow from dramatic decisions. It grows from small promises you can actually keep. 5 minutes of reading, not 50. 10 push-ups, not 100. 1 page of writing, not a whole chapter. Small actions seem insignificant, almost too simple. But something powerful is happening beneath the surface. Every time you keep a small promise, you strengthen a quiet voice inside you. That voice says, I can trust myself. And self-trust is the true foundation of confidence. Confidence is not loud. It is not arrogance. It is the calm certainty that when you say you will do something, you do it. When you keep a promise to yourself, even a tiny one, you send a message to your brain. I am someone who follows through. Your brain listens. Your identity shifts. And slowly, almost invisibly, you stop seeing yourself as someone who quits. You begin to see yourself as someone who finishes. That message changes everything. Because once you trust yourself, you stop needing external validation. You stop waiting for motivation. You move, not because you feel inspired, but because you have become reliable. And reliability is power. Your brain loves comfort. It is designed that way. After a long day, your hand reaches for your phone almost automatically. You scroll. One video becomes 10. 10 minutes become an hour. You open a snack. You sit back. You escape. It feels easy. It feels good. And your brain rewards you instantly. A small hit of dopamine. A quick spark of pleasure. Scrolling. Sugar. Endless entertainment. These are effortless rewards. But here is the problem. The more you train your brain to expect instant pleasure, the harder real effort feels. Sitting down to study suddenly feels unbearable. Starting a workout feels exhausting before you even begin. Not because you are weak, but because your brain has been conditioned to choose easy rewards. Now here is the beautiful part. Discipline does not fight your biology. It retrains it. When you finish a workout, your body releases endorphins, natural chemicals that reduce stress and elevate mood. When you complete a difficult task, your brain releases dopamine again. But this time, it is different. It is not linked to distraction. It is linked to achievement. This kind of reward is slower, but it is deeper, stronger, more stable. Over time, your brain begins to associate effort with satisfaction. You start to crave progress instead of comfort. And this is when something shifts. Discipline is no longer painful. It becomes fulfilling. You are not forcing yourself against your nature. You are upgrading your nature. You are teaching your brain that the real reward is growth. There is a version of you that you have never met. That version wakes up when the alarm rings. Not because it feels easy, but because it made a promise. That version finishes what it starts, even when the excitement fades, even when the progress is slow. That version does not rely on mood. It relies on commitment. And here is the truth. Discipline reveals character, not on the easy days, not when you feel inspired, but on the difficult days, the quiet mornings, the tiring evenings, the moments when no one is watching. It is in those invisible moments that you discover who you really are. There is no applause, no recognition, no external reward, only you and your decision. And slowly, quietly, something begins to change. You start to respect yourself, not because you are perfect, not because you never fail, but because you return again and again, because you are consistent. Self-respect is not built in public, it is built in private. Now, let's make this practical. Here are 3 simple ways to build discipline starting today. First, lower the bar. Make it almost too easy to succeed. If you want to exercise, start with 5 minutes. If you want to read, start with 1 page. Second, remove friction. Prepare your clothes the night before. Place your book on your desk. Make the right choice, the easiest choice. Third, track your streak. Mark an X on the calendar. Watch the chain grow. And whatever you do, do not break the chain. Because consistency always beats intensity. Intensity burns bright, but consistency builds strength. Every time you choose effort over comfort, you are casting another vote for your future self. And one day, without drama, without announcement, you will wake up and realize something powerful. You are no longer waiting to feel motivated. You are no longer waiting for the perfect time. You are no longer saying tomorrow. You have become the person who does what needs to be done, and that is freedom. Freedom from excuses, freedom from self-doubt, freedom from endless negotiation. So start small, start imperfect, start tired if you must, but start today. Because discipline will introduce you to a version of yourself you have never met before. And when you finally meet that version, you will realize they were inside you all along. And they are stronger than you ever imagined.